Okay, so, y'all know I like medieval weapons and shit and collect it. So I wanted to show off my newest acquisition here. This is the Windlass Italian Mace I got from Cult of Athena. It's not a new product or anything. Scalagrim did a video on it a couple of years ago. And yeah, it's pretty badass. I had avoided getting this for a while because I wasn't sure with the hollow haft how durable it would be. But I was at a very shitty Ren fair last week, and they were there's one shop was selling this. Well, not this one, but they were selling a slightly rusted version of this for $350, and I laughed in the guy's face when I went to buy it, and then walked out of the store. And then I went on Cult of Athena and got it for $120. So yeah, don't buy shit like this at a medieval Renaissance fair, because they're ripping you the fuck off, like massively, most of the time. I saw so many wall hanger weapons that are like $60 that they were selling for like $200 and $300 a piece, if not more. And I was like, what the fuck? You just want to rip off some Timmies is all, and I can't abide by that. But anyway, this thing weighs about 4 pounds, maybe 4.5 pounds in total. I haven't actually weighed it yet. And it hits like a goddamn truck. It hits very, very hard. I was surprised that it actually hits harder than the Warhammer. I thought for sure that with the mace head, the flanges, instead of like the actual hammer part, that the Warhammer, despite being half the weight, was gonna transfer more force. But no, this absolutely outdamages the Warhammer in terms of sheer destructive capability. Like directly smashing bits. Hammer to flange, this hits harder. Obviously the spike on the Warhammer is gonna just go right through shit, but yeah, I tested it on the Catechism. I have a hardcover Catechism that I bought for interest's sake. It wasn't a very interesting read, but so I tested the Warhammer and I tested the Mace, and the Mace just did way more damage to the Catechism. So that was a neat test. I'm not hitting anything hard with it, like super hard, like trees or anything, because I don't want the haft to like bend, which it can. It probably won't with one or two smacks, like one or two good smacks on the trees. Probably not going to do it. But if I keep doing it over and over again, I'd rather not bend the haft. Not that I think it's a big deal, because it's still metal and it's still a mace. So even if it gets a bit of a bend, it's going to be fine. Also, if it would break, this head here, this is not filled in, I don't believe. So the way it looks like this tube runs into the head of the mace. And then it's put on with this and some welding. So if I did happen to like snap this off, I'm just going to put a wooden one in there and kind of pin it to the wood, because that would be more durable. When hitting things, it's going to be more durable, especially at this length, like not an issue. But yeah, this is very, very sturdy, especially compared to what I thought. The leather wrapping is actually nice too. Usually you get these wrappings, especially on cheaper products, and they're kind of shit. Like my Honshu Claymore, I took the wrapping off because it cut into my hand when I would use it. But this one, no issues at all. Like, it's very, very well done. Unlike that piece of shit I got from Laidlaw Forge Works, who still have yet to send me the replacement half that they were supposed to. I blew up at that motherfucker the other day. They're just jerking me around. Don't fucking buy anything from them. If you see them on Etsy, for example, just downvote the shit out of them. Don't. The customer service is dog shit, and anything with wood they don't know how to do. So yeah, they're shit. But anyway, I bought this, way better quality than the piece of shit I got from them. The head is hardened steel instead of just a fucking lump of iron, so it's not gonna chip or break or anything like that. It's not brittle at all. It looks like I don't think it's one piece. Like it's not all one piece. It looks like it's been welded on there, but it's very, very sturdy. It's very well on there. It's not pinned. Like the one I got from Volk, there was a bit of a miscommunication. This was the Mace I had in the winter last year, whatever, earlier this year. That one was kind of tacked on, the flanges, and that's why they shattered. But this one, that is not the case at all. So it's very well constructed. This thing is very durable, hits like a truck. It is my favorite piece so far because it is a bit shorter. It's about 28 inches long. So it's very much like a EDC type of weapon, you know, everyday carry for those of you who don't know the term. It's very maneuverable, even though it's about 4 pounds. It's not like it's all 4 pounds in the head. The head probably weighs about, I don't know, if I had to guess, I'd say the head in and of itself is maybe 3 pounds, and then 1.5 pounds for the rest of it. Maybe 2.5. You know, like maybe the handle's 2 pounds, the head's 2.5 pounds. I'm not sure the exact weight distribution, but it feels sturdy. And it definitely feels weighted at the head. And you can like just fucking wreck shit with it. It's very hard. And I think it's very aesthetic. I prefer maces to warhammers because, I mean, look at that. Look at the flange. It's basically, like I know the Morning Star is the one with the spikes, but I really think like that's just like a modern thing. If you look at this, it looks like a fucking, you know, a star. Like if you look at it, it's a star. Maces, I think, are just like, you know, Morning Star, Mace, it's the same fucking thing. You're just bashing it down on somebody. If you draw a star, it's going to look something like that. The aesthetics of maces, especially the Italian ones, are just very, very nice. These bits here help concentrate the force even more. Like I said, it has more impact than the Warhammer, which I was not expecting. Because the Warhammer is also longer, so it's got better leverage. And it's lighter, so you can hit harder with it. But, or you can swing it faster, a little bit faster. But now this thing is just absolutely devastating. Like if you got a decent, even a one-handed strike to somebody's head, you're probably going to demolish half their face. Two-handed strike, you're going to cave their head in. Like straight up. Like this thing's a monster. So yeah, it weighs about 4.5 pounds. Like I said, UPS shipped it. The packaging said 6 pounds. So I figure about 4.5 pounds is probably pretty accurate for it. I need my coffee here. It's about 4.5 pounds. The other reason I like this, it's not one of those stupid, rinky-dink piece of shit maces that maybe weighs barely 2 pounds. And people are like, oh yeah, this is terrible against armor. Like DeQuatum, for example. Great fight choreographer and everything. But his whole point about maces not being good weapons against armor, because they're just not, you know, they're too light or whatever, as kind of bullshit. People, like I have said, are just not using big enough maces. Like in Buhurt, for example, they cap it at 1 kilo. Buhurt maces are very small. They're on thick wooden hafts, but they're under 2 pounds. Obviously, that's not going to do anything in armor. But you take this, I guarantee you take this, and you bash someone over the head in the plate. I don't care what kind of helmet they're wearing. They're done. They're done. You get them in the shoulder, they're gonna feel it. You're gonna break their shoulder. I guarantee it. Something like this, or the one that I have from Laidlaw. You put a wood haft on that, you have a 5-pound wrecking ball at the end of a nice stick. Absolutely, you're gonna fuck someone's day up. I don't care how much fucking armor they're wearing. It's like these people who do this shit, who talk about maces and impact weapons not being all that effective, don't know what they're talking about because they will not test anything of substantial size. Even if you want to use historical imagery as your baseline for what people actually fought with, Go look at some of the tapestries. Some of the fucking maces are bigger than this. They're longer than this. The head's bigger than this. The swords are fairly accurate in the imagery. I think it's fair to say the maces are too. Do you find a lot of them around? No. Maybe they weren't that common. Maybe they're on wooden halves. Point is, you get something like this, it's very wieldable. Yes, I am a little bit bigger. Oh, okay, I'm not a little bit bigger. I'm a lot bigger than most HEMA practitioners, like jacked. A lot of HEMA people are just fat nerds. So I can swing around a 4-pound, 4.5-pound mace with one hand pretty easily, pretty quickly. And if I put two hands on it, it's absolutely no problem to flip it around, redirect it, smack someone, feint strikes. It's very easy to do. So yeah, this thing's awesome. You should buy one. I want to get the Cold Steel German mace, the Gothic mace from them. I want to see what theirs is like. I've heard that one's not as good, not as durable, and the handle does bend a bit more. But when they made a video of it, and they're smashing all kinds of shit with it, and it looks fine. So I do want to get one of those, just to compare the two. They're both black and steel, which I like because it's a little more rust resistant. It will not be totally rust resistant, but it is somewhat rust resistant, like my Claymore. So I like that. And I do really like this Italian style head, but I also like the Gothic German head as well. So yeah, I think that's the next one I want to get. But this is a lot of fun. I like using it. I like swinging it around. If you like your weapons to have some other function, this is also fun for exercise purposes because it's got that weight to it. You can put it in one hand and you can swing this around 10, 15 minutes, all kind of ways. Left hand, right hand, whatever fucking hand, both hands. And you can get a decent, you know, I don't want to say workout because like it shouldn't be that difficult. But you can get some decent cardio in, I guess. Yeah. As opposed to the really heavy clubs that people just kind of like, they do circles or shield cast as it's called. I don't particularly value club training because, yeah, you're not really doing anything functional with it. But with an actual weapon, well, you can swing that around and it's very functional. But you can't be swinging around a 20-pound club for very long. You're not going to. It's going to pull too much on your joints, your tendons. I don't recommend it. You can do it, but even my big axe, my 7.5-pound axe, swinging that around too long, especially with the kettlebell training, puts a serious strain on my forearm here, which I am feeling now a little bit because I've been swinging this around for the past 2 days. So it's a little bit, it's not terrible. It's fine. I got to do the tricep push downs and the preacher curls. Actually, for some reason, the preacher curl has become my favorite bicep exercise when I do bicep exercises. Like, I know it can tear your bicep if you're stupid, but like, it's a really good stretch. And I feel like that and the rope push down specifically really help keep your forearms healthy when you do anything like this, or you're doing a lot of kettlebell training. And as far as training goes, right now mine is a mix. I basically cut the volume down from Bromley's program because my hips were hurting way too damn bad from all the deadlifting and the super high volume squats. I've decided that I'm dropping conventional deadlift for the time being. I'm going to focus on my squat and my front squat because that has a lot more carryover to deadlift than deadlift does to the squat. And the deadlift variation that I really, really love is the stiff leg deficit deadlift. That is a fantastic hip hinge. You get a really good range of motion. I was doing those the other day after my heavy deadlifts. I did set a PR on the deadlift, so that was good. And that was at the end of a full body session. But I was doing stiff leg deficit deadlift. I had about a 3-inch platform under my feet, so it was a pretty good deficit. And 225 for sets of 6. and it felt really good. Like really nice stretch. Kind of helped the hips and everything. But yeah, I'm going way off course here. This mace is awesome, and you can definitely incorporate something like this into your physical training. And it's going to be more fun for most of you than actually going to a gym lifting weights or even doing kettlebell training, because you get to swing weapons around, and that's just more fun. Yeah. Also, real quick, you see the shirt, White Boy Summer, Shameless Bird. YouTube nuked him. That sucks. Entertaining guy. He's on Odyssey. Like the shirt, good quality shirt. I didn't review his shirt, unfortunately, but yeah. R.I.P. Shameless Bird. Get yourself a mace. It's a hell of a lot of fun. And don't listen to HEMA nerds, because they're fucking nerds. And for that matter, don't listen to Buhurt nerds either. They don't allow people to use real maces. They use rinky-dink pieces of shit. But then they'll smack each other with 5-pound long axes. Makes no fucking sense to me. Peace.